Yo, hope everyone's well, having a great trading week. This video today is going to be a bit different to my usual videos. I'm actually just going to do like an analysis and a potential trade setup for the previous day. So today is Tuesday, so yesterday's Monday. I'm just going to go through if there's any trade setups available and what price did during that session. It's mainly going to be just the New York session, so 7 a.m. to about 10 a.m. / 11 a.m. Depending on if there's a trade setup as well. So it's not going to be much of the higher time frame, just going to be mostly the lower time frame and what I see in price. So usually what I do is I go on the 4 hour / 1 hour, just see where price is and where price wants to go. So price is ran lower, these are equal lows here, relatively equal lows. It's taken out here and it's ran higher. So it's taken out buy side here, ran back into this SIBI. So a SIBI is a sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. So it's inefficient in buy side. So that's why price wants to run back up into it, because it wants to balance the market. All of this you can learn through ICT, so the Inner Circle Trader, on his YouTube. So yeah, it's all free. So yeah, credit to him. So I've drawn out this SIBI here. Just going to make it let's make it red. So this video is going to be a little bit longer than my usual videos. I'm just going to do it probably mostly 3 or 4 days a week. Just gonna, I don't know, just gonna help me as well, just to see how many setups I can see during a week and stuff like that. So it's mostly gonna be just one setup if there is a setup. Hopefully it helps you guys as well to spot a setup as well. So I've seen price wants to run into this SIBI here, and this is the consequent encouragement here. So the consequent encouragement is the midpoint, and I'm also just going to get the quarter levels as well. So price on Friday couldn't reach the consequent encouragement, so that shows that potentially it hasn't got enough momentum to want to get even higher, especially when it closed below the quarter level. Again, price ran back into the quarter level, didn't even get to the consequent encouragement at this wick either, pulls lower. So if price wants to go lower, where could it potentially go to? Well, sell side and inefficiency here, so there's an inefficiency here. But this is the 4 hour time frame, so that's going to take a little bit longer to do. So let's go to the 1 hour. So prices ran back up into here, and it's ran higher, taken out buy side, so relatively equal highs here. It's ran. If there's no inefficiency, then you look at wicks. So there's a wick here. Let me just delete this now because it's getting a little bit messy. So this wick here, look at the consequent encouragement. Price closes literally pretty much to the T. I think it's a little bit higher, but pretty much to the T where the bodies are. So that tells me that price wants to go down. So that's just like an indication how neat that is. Price wants to go lower. So if it wants to go lower, where potentially it wants to go to? Well, there's an inefficiency here. So let's just get the low of that. So let's just mark that off. There's sell side here, so equal lows. Let's mark that off, the sell side. And there's equal lows here. So if there's relatively equal lows, you just do the lowest low. Okay, like that. So as you can see, it has taken out this low here. But we're just going to go through up here to see if there was an entry. So we are doing Monday. So if you look down here, we're doing Monday here. So let's just go from here. So as I would have seen that there, that's an indication that price wants to go lower. There was no news on Monday, so expect price to be more choppy than not. So you just have to know when it's going to be low probability and the high resistance liquidity trade. So yeah, so let's go to the 5 minute. So what I like to see is 5 minute bearish order block, or just a 5 minute order block anyway. If price wants to run from here down to the sell side, draw from the high to the low, and you can get the 50%. And so if you want to just copy this is literally what I've done here. So I've just got the 1, 0 and 50%. That's to get my premium discount. So we're in a premium, so we can short. You only want to short in a premium to go run to a discount. This is a discount array here, so just keep that in mind. We can also draw this one here, but because that high is inside the premium, then it just makes it more valid for this one here, because that's definitely in a deeper discount. So this could potentially be draw liquidity here. So I'm going to just cut that off now. So this was the 1 hour here. That's the 1 hour fair value gap, so BISI low. So if we look at that here, that's the 1 hour BISI low here, so the high of this candle. So it matches with the discount and that 5-minute BISI. So that's matches all three. So that's quite nice to be a strong draw liquidity. So now we're looking to see if we can get in an entry. So we've had a run up, down close candle, push up, then displacement lower. Okay. So these two candles here is a bearish order block. So just draw from that there, draw across. Let's make that grey. Does price even want to get into the mean threshold? We'll see. But what I like to see is run into the bearish order block. This here straight away goes my eye. Equal highs. So people potentially have sold this already. Thought that was resistance. Pulled lower. They've moved their stops there now, just above here. Price has now ran that higher. Ran back into the bearish order block. So what's happened is, where's my thing? Price has made a high, a low, a high, high. So now I'm just waiting to see if price wants to run and take out this low, and then this will become a bearish breaker, these three candles here. So let's just see what happens if it does. Again, there's no news, and also UK had bank holiday, and it's Monday, so expect this sort of choppiness. But price does end up taking that out here at 10.44. So this is a breaker now. So these three candles here. Okay. So now what you want to do is you want to look for an entry. Let me keep that there. Don't delete that. So is that a fair value gap once that breaker has been taken? Yes, here. So let's make that red. So entry is here. Where do you want to target? Well, depending on what type of trade you are, I would want to target hit more here because it is more in a discount. But you can start taking your partials off here. I'd potentially take partials. I'll take maybe partials off the low. I'll just see how price acts around this. Where my stop want to be? Stop, I would say just above either this high or above the breaker. So here, even though there's a fair value gap here, it's not really inside this breaker. So I want to see this just be left alone. If price starts trading up above here and tapping into this and this, then the likelihood is price is going to take out these liquidity here. So just quite tight stops. So yeah, first target potentially want to be here or the midpoint. Just see how price is. Let's see if we get tagged in first. Okay, so we've been tagged in. Also, if you want to get your targets, so this was the breaker here, so high, low. So this here is the manipulation to go high to take out buy side. So you can draw from the high to the low here and get a standard deviation. So high, low, high, high. Standard deviation of this price leg, so A, B here, actually is the perfect consequent encouragement. So When I see that I probably would take a little bit partials off there. And then the next is the standard deviation of 2, which is nice. It lines up with the discount and that hourly fair value gap low, and also the 5-minute BISI. So yeah, that'd be my second target. And then third target here, which lines up with the 3. And then final target would be this sell side here. Okay, so we've been tagged in. Let's see what price does. So price taps into the high of the 5-minute BISI here. All it wants to do is just run back into this civvy here, bearish order block. Taps back into the entry. Okay, so it's run into the consequent encouragement here. Let's see if it wants to act as a inversion fair value gap. So tapped into this BISI. I would like to see this act as an inversion fair value gap once price. If price does end up closing below, I want to see it act as an inversion. So it's closed below, I want to see it act as resistance. So it has got to, literally to the pip, is that our BISI low, if that makes sense. So first partials, second partials. So I would already move stops to break even. So next target would be this low here, or you can go that low, but I'd do that low. So here, price looks like it potentially wants to bounce from here, but that 5-minute BISI looks like it's holding up here. It has traded a little bit higher. There is buy side here, equal highs. That price is taken out. So potentially people who've sold this has moved their stops here, potentially a bit too early. Let's see how it reacts. So it has traded lower. Okay, so people who've just moved their stops here would have been annoyed that they've moved their stops too early, because now the price is trading back at the lows. People who've long this, there's sell side liquidity here now. That have been taken out, so people who longed have now been taken out. And then let's see if it wants to run. So back of this inversion fair value gap, which is nice. Look at the consequent encouragement to the midpoint, which is nice. So the price is trading about, it is 1 p.m. So usually I'll be done trading by this time. So I'd say I'd probably move my stops here to here now. And just keep an eye on price, see what it's doing. I want to see this act as an inversion fair value gap, and the price probably closes above the consequent encouragement of this, then price, I wouldn't be interested in price anymore, because it just tells me that it's not, hasn't got like the momentum to run lower. So let's just see. Price just going sideways, choppy. It has dropped lower. It has dropped lower and it's kept below this now. So yeah, so next target's been hit, and then final target is down here. So I'll probably have like 20% left off of this. And yeah, I would have, let's see if price ends up does taking it out. I mean, yeah, it does just there. I would have been asleep anyway. Depending on how I was feeling, I may have already closed the trade. But most of the portion was from this push here down to the low of this BISI, and then the next run was that hourly fair value gap, which is if you put your if you shorted from here and had your stops just above either there, that is a lovely move. I mean, 3 to 1 is that's a lot. So that's a nice move, low resistance sort of. It's still a little bit choppy here as it pulls back into your entry, but after that it does end up running. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I'll do another one for Tuesday, and that should come out tomorrow. Feel free to comment if you want me to do any other pairs. Let me know how this type of video is. I know it's a little bit longer, but hopefully you learn a little bit. And again, shout out to ICT. You can learn literally all of his concepts on his free YouTube. So yeah, be safe and take care.